Hello, everyone. Welcome back to your favorite show. We are back, re energized, ready for action, and the world is going to shit as always. Here to cover it all with me, my precious co host. How are you,
Alas,
George?
alas, it is the way of the world, Luigi. It keeps going further into the sheets. But yeah, I'm doing fine, Luigi. Brothers and sisters, cousins and distant third cousins, we are here with you on this auspicious day to break down the shits that have been happening globally, but
The
mainly in the
oligarchs.
United States. The
Mainly
oligarchs are assembling, Luigi.
we are
Globalists
here.
assemble.
Sometimes I really think about the fact that it's like a bunch of oligarchs that control all of Earth's
All of
resources,
Middle Earth at the very least. Yeah.
and a bunch of people like us on the other side. It's like,
It is an unfair battle, but one that must be waged. It is what it is. It is.
all
I
right. So,
think already we're derailing without purpose or
all right.
rhyme,
So
Luigi.
with purpose, hey, making haste. We haven't talked in a long time. A lot has happened. The biggest one being the big, beautiful reconciliation bill that Donald Trump is trying to push to the U.S. Congress. Here's how I understand it, and feel free to correct me at any point. We are gonna roll over the corporate tax cuts. And in order for us to balance the budget or try to balance the budget while doing that, we are going to cut your healthcare and your food stamps. And there's a bunch of other stuff sprinkled in there. But the bottom line being, I'm taking from the very poor, the poorest in the nation, and giving to the wealthiest in the nation, which is a repeat of what we did last time that we cut taxes. Am I reading the situation right?
Yes, it's a repeat, pure repeat. And I mean, why the wealthiest in the nation? Because the corporate tax cut. The people
Yeah.
who own corporations, except, I mean, just breaking it down, obviously. So is it a good tax bill? Fuck no.
It's
Fuck
it's
no.
one of the
Yeah.
worst pieces of
Classic.
legislation that has. I mean, look, if like if we were like close to a balanced budget and this was gonna increase the deficit a little bit, then maybe you can see it happening. But the deficit was already 6.5% of GDP. This is gonna take it to 8.5% by most estimates. And there's no end in sight, no party wants to deal with this. The Republicans just want to give more to corporations. The Democrats occasionally do some spending on average people as well, but mostly they also give to corporations as well.
And I
So
mean, I don't think it's going to nuke the stock market, though, the spending bill. Uh,
it depends. It's complicated. It depends on how the bond market reacts because it's such an irresponsible tax bill
he's
that
done
they
it
are.
before, Luigi. He doubled the debt last time. He's going to
It
double
was
it this time.
8 years ago, things have changed quite a lot. Now, look, the US is the world's biggest economy, main superpower. The dollar is at the center of the system. Yada yada yada. You've heard it all before. So the US can go to places with debt that other countries cannot easily. That being said, it's very difficult to know where that line is, right? Where's that line where the bond investors suddenly say, "Oh my God," like start panicking. Nobody knows where
I
the
think
line
his
is.
tariff war is far more likely to spook. It's accelerating again. Basically, it's having a spat with China again because China, as far as I can tell, has been slow rolling the sale of critical minerals to the United States, and that pissed him off. And in response, he
And magnets.
and
They've been slow
magnets,
rolling the magnets,
the precious magnets.
which he was ridiculing a few years. I know what to do with a magnet. I
Yeah,
throw them in the
yeah.
water and then no magnet. Magnets. That was what was
And now she has your fucking magnets.
that?
And
Yeah.
the response has been escalation in the rhetoric. He's also picking a fight with the EU since they're weaker. And maybe we can make a play on them, maybe we can bully them a little bit. Um, that I think has far more of a chance of blowing up the stock market
Yes.
once again.
Speaking of trade, do you wanna tell us what the trade court ruled recently?
Well, I mean, the court ruled against him that he was basically overstepping his authority because he was using. But
I mean,
very simply, people, you can't call something an emergency that has been happening for 49 years. Hard to argue that this is an emergency. So you can use that authority and the Emergency Powers Act or whatever to implement your tariffs. Whereas I made the point, and it is true that the aluminum and steel tariffs are on another, they are based on another power of
yeah,
the presidency, which is about national security. It's on national
yes,
security grounds. So those ones stand. They're not part of the court ruling. But then immediately the next day after that court ruling, a judge, the appeals court, revoked the judge's orders
bingo.
until it goes to the Supreme Court, I guess,
And
and we have a final decision.
given that the Supreme
Uh,
Court is stacked by
Iffy, very
Trump-appointed
iffy.
judges, I mean, look,
Very
it's not
iffy.
impossible. It's not impossible for the court to rule like in favor of common sense,
Yes.
but it's harder than it used to be, right?
Yeah,
Because
definitely. Definitely. It's
yeah,
I wouldn't blame someone if he thought it's a 50-50. Most of the important decisions
yeah,
now that should have been slam dunks against Trump
exactly,
are 50-50s. So
exactly,
who
and that
knows? Yeah.
that was the whole point of stacking the court in the first place. He understood that in his first term.
A
Uh,
magician at work, Luigi.
wow, wow, a plumber of the political system, if I've seen
Yes.
one.
Yes.
Um,
So I think we've
yeah,
covered that one. So that's dicey as well. Uh, he recently came out, Luigi, and he was like, I didn't wanna, I don't wanna create sneakers or t-shirts in the United States. I wanna make the beautiful AI. And I was like, then why did you tariff Laos, Cambodia, and Vietnam at 50%, you goddamn imbecile? If you didn't wanna make the t-shirts and the sneakers, dude,
because they
there are
were weak.
people.
We're gonna get free money, George. It was just free money waiting for us
I
on a
just,
tree.
I just want to say, legit, there are leftists who give him too much credit because it's the first time anybody has given credit to their argument. You know, maybe we globalize too much, maybe too much. So they're giving him too much credit. And the idiot is like making it up literally as he goes.
Yes, yes.
So there's no grand strategy. There is none. There is no
No,
grand
no, no.
strategy with
For
Trump.
sure. For sure.
So
And
we're all just
we
hostages to his daily mind farts that we're
mood
gonna be.
swings. Look, we are approaching a very important, let's say, date. So moment of truth, rather, which is the 9th of July. That is the 90 days ceasefire announcement that was April 9th. So in less than 1 month, we're gonna find out if the shit show resumes or if the market tantrum that we threw the first time was enough to scare him.
I'm not 100% it was enough.
I don't think it was enough either, to be honest. And
But he'll be forced to. Sorry, yeah, Luigi.
I think that a lot of people, because he's gotten like a couple of very cosmetic deals, like the deals with the UK and deals like we've agreed to start talking with
A
China and
deal
that
with
kind
the
of.
UK people does not count. It's not a real deal. It's not a real place. Yeah, sorry, Luigi.
But on a serious note, he has gotten a few cosmetic wins. Nothing concrete, but he
As
has
far
gotten
as I
some
know,
PR wins.
Luigi is just the UK deal, isn't that?
China, the China
Oh,
truce,
and
let's call it.
he just yielded like a fucking sorry, I mean a bitch, and then that was that's what happened.
I'm just afraid that like because the market has recovered and it's trading like a few percentage points from record highs, that emboldens him. And then he says, like,
100%.
Yeah, like
No
I can
harm
go
done.
back
Let's
to
do it
what yeah,
again.
exactly.
Yeah,
Let's do it
yeah,
again. Like,
100%.
let's see what happens. Like, it's
Let's do
always
it
nice.
again. Let's do it again. 100%, 100%. He's
Oh,
very likely to do it again in the very near
excellent.
future. Probably in 5 minutes before this video is out. That's
All
the
right.
that's the speed we're going at,
Yeah. So,
fortunately.
anything else?
No, I'm done.
Nice. Let's keep it nice and short and sweet.
Yes, yes.
All right, then. Thanks, George. Nice to see you. We'll be around covering all of the craziness over the next month. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of it.
As
Sayonara.
always, bye bye.